Today is all about rock and roll with this little Pokemon, Roggenrola. Any of this Pokemon evolved into Gigalith during these special day hours will learn the brand new charge move of Meteor Beam. I'm BVMSerious, and today is Roggenrola Community Day, followed by the special research story titled Rock and Roll. And before we get any further into today's video, I want to take this time right now to say that if you're brand new to this channel and you want to see more stuff like this in the near future, then please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Also be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new future content from this channel. But anyways, with that being said, let's rock and roll. Alright, so I am here at the pavilion once again for Community Day, and I have just a little bit of time before the Community Day actually starts, so I actually want to take this time right now to pop my daily adventure incense and see if we can get any Galarian birds to spawn in. So let's get started. Alright, so I just finished up my daily adventure incense, and I think using the daily adventure incense at this point in time may not have actually been the best idea, because I was actually starting to get some of the Community Day spawns, that of course being the Roggenrola. So no Galarian birds at this time, but I did get some pretty decent stuff. No shinies out of it. I did get a G-Fisk I'm actually going to check here once I have the time available to me. But anyways, let's get into Community Day. Alright, so Community Day has been started for at least about 8 minutes now, and there are a lot of Roggenrola as far as the eye can see. So we're going to go on ahead and actually just check at least one of these on screen now. So let's see, is this first Roggenrola I'm going to check be shiny? No, it's not shiny. But anyways, let's get into all the details surrounding today's Community Day. Obviously, I'm not going to cover all these, but at least I want to cover some of the more important ones. So obviously, the special bonus for today's event is going to be 1/4 incubator distance. And speaking of which, I actually need to go ahead and put some eggs in incubators when I get a second. And also, any Roggenrola that you fully evolve into Gigalith, as I just mentioned earlier in the video, during the 3-hour event plus up to 5 hours after, will come with the brand new rock charge move of Meteor Beam. And Meteor Beam is going to be hugely beneficial for Gigalith, and I will talk a little bit about that later. There's also the special research story titled Rock and Roll that you can actually get in the shop for $1, and that'll come with some free Roggenrola encounters with a guaranteed chance for high IVs. There's also stickers. There's a special bundle in the shop that you can get an elite charge TM from. You can also get 5 photobomb encounters with Roggenrola, so that's also really nice if you're in an area where there's not a lot of spawns around you, or if you're confined to one area where you can't really move around much at all. And also after the Community Day ends, there will be a lot of tier 4 raids popping up with Boldor, and you will be able to beat Boldor. If you do manage to defeat one, then you'll have a bunch of Roggenrola spawning within a 300-meter radius around the gym that hosted the raid, and it'll still have the same shiny rate as Roggenrolas during Community Day. So that's pretty much all the important details I really wanted to cover. So yeah, I'm pretty much just going to be shiny checking. And fortunately, thanks to Pokemon Go Fest of 2021, I managed to score myself 2 shiny Roggenrolas. So really all I need is one more out of this Community Day. So I think within a 3-hour span that's definitely doable. So I'm just catching Roggenrolas and just getting candies out of it, and also hopefully get myself a really decent high IV Gigalith with Meteor Beam. Alright, so just like that, literally like 12 minutes into Community Day, so yeah, I had literally no doubt in my mind I was going to get my 3rd and final shiny Roggenrola that I need. Now, to be honest, I actually kind of like the purple on Roggenrola, but I do love the Boldor and the Gigalith much better, especially Gigalith because of the fact that its shiny variant looks like it's got like crystals popping out of it. But I do, like, honestly, like, while I do love the shiny, I also love the original just as much. But yeah, we are going to catch this shiny Roggenrola here with a Golden Resin Ultra Ball to secure the catch. Alright, and the 3rd shiny Roggenrola is now mine. I'm just curious, I want to check its stats, because the ones I got from GoFest were actually quite terrible. Unfortunately, this one's just as bad, so... But anyways, at least we have all the Roggenrolas we need to complete the family with. And so I also do want to cover the special research that comes with this Community Day rock and roll. So we have One of the tasks I already completed, which was to catch 15 Roggenrola. There was another one I also completed too, and I didn't even take a look, honestly. I was just kind of doing the tasks without even looking. And we also have to power up a Pokemon 10 times, so we'll have to look and see what Pokemon I want to power up. But honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this Shadow Scizor I have here, just because I know it's really good to use in the Ultra League. So there we go, we just powered up our Shadow Scizor to its fullest without going over the 2500 CP limit, and that is pretty much the first whole set of the research completed. So with the first set completely out of the way, I'm going to go on ahead and claim the first set here and see if this next Roggenrola we get from this is going to be shiny or not, because the last one wasn't, and no, this one is not either. Okay, but we're going to catch it though. Okay, but getting into the second set of the research here, we have catch 15 Roggenrola, transfer 10 Pokemon, and evolve 3 Roggenrola. Also did fail to mention too that there's also the double catch candy for the purposes of obtaining Gigalith, because while it's not the most expensive in terms of candy cost, that double candy actually does help out, as it does require 50 candies to evolve into a Boldor, and then evolve Boldor with a further 200 candies to get Gigalith, so that really does come in handy. Alright, so as I'm doing these research tasks, I actually want to go ahead and say a few things. Honestly, I don't know if I'm crazy saying this, but I feel like there's just like a very, like, ever so slight resemblance between the Roggenrola line and the Beldum line. Not fully, because they don't look exactly the same, but I feel like there's just like a slight resemblance between the two. So I feel like honestly Roggenrola looks a little similar to Beldum just because of the fact that they both have that like eye in the middle of them. And Gigalith, its fully evolved form, kind of looks a little bit like Metagross because of the fact that they're both big Pokemon and the fact that they both have like 4 legs on each side. So that's kind of why I say that. Now, let me know in the comments what you guys think. So I just transferred 10 Pokemon. Actually, I should have just evolved them first, but whatever. Yeah, I'm just going to be evolving these. And now, while I haven't really used Roggenrola much in the main series games, it's still a really cool Pokemon, and I think Gigalith is also a really good Pokemon too. And speaking of Gigalith, I'm actually going to go on ahead now, just for the purposes of keeping this video sweet and short. I want to give my personal analysis on Gigalith and just how good it is in Pokemon Go and what exactly Meteor Beam is going to do for it. Now, in terms of a charge move, this is actually a really good charge move for Gigalith. It's actually going to be better than Rock Slide. So, now, honestly, Gigalith is pretty average for a rock attacker to use in raids, and this is going to be even better now that it's got access to Meteor Beam, because Meteor Beam's got better DPS than Rock Slide does, so this is the better charge move to be using. So for once now in a while, we actually have a good raid-oriented community day. Now, I'm not sure how this is really going to play out for PvP, because I've never actually seen anyone actually use Gigalith in PvP before, so I'm really curious to see how many people are actually going to be running it in PvP. But I do know now that Gigalith is going to be even better to use in the raids. Now, obviously, it's not going to be as good as like Rockrucker, Rhyperior, or Rampardos, but it's still going to be up there, and that's what really matters. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be capitalizing on trying to get as many high IV Roggenrola as possible. Not only that, but I may actually try and go for a few PvP IV ones as well, and hope that I can actually get a decent one to use in PvP. Now, like I said, I have never ever seen anyone use Gigalith or Boldor or any of them in PvP, so I'm really curious to see how many people are going to start running it now that it has access to Meteor Beam. So I've completed the second set here, and I'm going to claim this and see if the Roggenrola from this task is going to be shiny or not. It is not, but you know what, that's okay. I literally have, so far, I've actually gotten 3 shinies out of today's Community Day event. So had I not gotten those 2 from GoFest 2021, I would already have the shiny family like right here and now. So that's actually a really good thing. And it's also good to just be able to load up on candy so I can have hopefully multiple Gigaliths that have Meteor Beam on them. So can't go wrong with that, including the Boldor I actually got from the research. Hopefully I actually got good IVs on that one. I didn't even check. Alright, so let's see what the third set has in store for us. So we have, okay, the first set I apparently completed. Oh, that was the 3 great curveball throws. That's what it was. Evolve a Boldor and transfer 10 Pokemon. Okay. We got some balloons flying away there. Alright, so I got a bunch of my 5 eggs ready to hatch, so let's see what hatches. So we got a Mag Beam. Okay. We got Elekid now, so we don't really need that at the moment. Got another Elekid. Alright. Got a Togepi. I could use a Hundo one though. And another Togepi. Okay, so we got mostly Johto babies out of this one. So, okay, let's check this 371 and see how good this is. Is it... okay, we'll keep it. It's pretty good. IVs, I think. Alright, so I currently have a decent enough of a Boldore here that I think is actually worth evolving into Gigalith. So I'm actually going to go ahead now and evolve this into Gigalith. And yes, I will actually use the 200 candies to do so. And we will get a Gigalith with Meteor Beam. And there it is. There's our Gigalith. I actually kind of like Gigalith. It's a really nice looking Pokemon. And like I said, I feel like this has quite a bit of a resemblance to Metagross because of the 4 legs that it has. It's crazy. But there we go. We got it with Meteor Beam now. We have completed the 3rd set of the Roggenrola research. And we will claim all the rewards. And we will claim this 3rd set here. And the final set should automatically be completed for us. So we will just jump into that straight away, claim these rewards, and to get this last Roggenrola encounter. And it's not shiny, and it's also 510. It's actually a pretty decent CP. So now we will claim the final set of the research here, and this should give us our free Gigalith that comes with Meteor Beam. So we are going to catch this straight away. And there we go, we got the Gigalith. So I'm actually going to check and see how its IVs are. And let's see, it is... oof, terrible. That Boldore I also got out of the research is pretty terrible too. I seem to have the worst kind of luck with the research encounter rewards. But anyways, that is pretty much it for the Roggenrola special research. And really the rest of Community Day is going to be spent for just general shiny checking, because there really is not much else other than just hatching eggs really. But I'm also in the midst of trying to track down my dad right now, because I told him that I was actually going to meet him here at the pavilion. I actually got a little bit of a head start today. Well, hello.
I can move somewhere where I can get some more shinies.
Yep. So
I got 2.
I got several already.
I couldn't believe it. I pulled in like the first 5 I checked, 2 of them were shiny.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
I never get that kind of luck, and you remember.
Yeah. But yeah,
the last time we had a day like this, I was like 2 hours into it before I got the first one. Then I got a whole ton of them right at the very end.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Like I have, like many other people, kind of missed the 6-hour format too, just because it kind of goes back to like what you said. Like, you know, we have like less of an opportunity now, like especially for anyone that has to work or anything like that.
You had to work on Sunday, and you could do it the first 3 hours, but the second 3 hours you had to work. But they only have it the second. Well, would be the second 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you can't do it all.
Yeah, it's kind of like a missed opportunity for those kind of people, and I just don't think that's right. Alright, so that is pretty much it for Roggenrola Community Day and everything that it has to offer. I think today has actually been a huge success, and I came out with about 14 shinies, which is actually quite a bit, aside from the 2 that I actually got during GoFest 2021, which would actually make about 16. But yeah, today obviously I got 14 shinies. But anyways, how many shinies did you guys get? Let me know in the comment section down below. Before I actually wrap up this video fully, there's at least one other thing that I really want to talk about with you guys. So earlier, me and my dad were talking about how community days just aren't as long as they used to be, and that's because that's actually one of the so-called QOL changes that Niantic has actually made to the game to basically make it a bit simpler and easier for the players to be able to kind of enjoy the game during the circumstances that we've been dealing with for the past couple of years. Of course, as of this year in 2022, a lot of those QOL changes started to slowly but surely, be removed and actually kind of be reverted back to the way things kind of used to be. And to be quite honest, if there's any of these QOL changes that I'm going to miss more than anything else, and for all the right reasons, it's definitely going to be without a doubt the 6-hour long community days. Because the reason I say this is because, if you're like me and you work a full or even an overtime job, then you know just how critical it is to be able to enjoy community day and get that shiny, complete that shiny family, and even get the special move that comes with it. obviously it was as of Stuffle Community Day that Community Days have reverted back to the 3-hour format instead of the typical 6 hours that it has been for the past couple of years. Now, usually when I'm not able to do Community Day, that's when my Go Plus pretty much comes into play, because usually when I'm not able to really play the game, I just kind of let my Go Plus do all the work for me, and if I'm lucky, I'm able to actually score myself a few shinies during that respective Community Day. So, and now with the reversion back to the 3-hour format, it just makes it that much more difficult to really, hopefully, actually score the shinies that I need to. That just now means that I have 3 hours less to work with to actually fully take advantage of Community Day. Now, while I'm not fully fond of this decision, I do, however, respect it, just because Community Day was never meant to actually be 6 hours long. It was only meant to be 3 hours long when it was first released back in 2018. So, I mean, I do actually, respect Niantic's decision to revert it back to the 3-hour format and kind of go back to the way things used to be. But it's just like I said, I do actually respect Niantic's decision for actually making the change that they made. Now, I know there are many other people who may not actually agree with this, but this is really just me kind of voicing my own opinion. But anyways, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. But anyways, I'm going to go on ahead and I will actually end off this video right here. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed Roggenrola Community Day as much as I have. And as always, if you did enjoy this video, then please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Also leave a like on this video, won't hurt either. But anyways, that is it for me today. I'm BVMSerious, and I hope you guys have a seriously amazing day. Thank you so much for watching.
Did one of the circuitry raids from the last incursion? Yeah? Check it. Cool. We got a hundo circuitry. This is pretty amazing because circuitry is actually going to be a big game changer now for electric attackers in Pokemon Go. I'll explain that closer to the end of the video. But yeah, I'm so psyched. I actually finally got a hundo in this event, and it actually happens to be a good one. It's circuitry. But anyways, we are now into the final incursion of the event, the Nihilego incursion.